Hey, Eric.
Hey, John. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy almost Thanksgiving. Yeah. I guess from the time we're recording this, it's about a little over an hour and a half away. Have any big plans this year?
Yeah, I don't think I will edit this tomorrow, so
Oh, probably best not.
it'll be post-Thanksgiving. It'll be a post-Thanksgiving episode.
That's cool. I hope that if future you looks back at past you and had a good Thanksgiving.
I'm pretty sure I will. It's going to be very low-key. We're just kind of hanging out together as a family and not going anywhere, not doing anything fancy other than maybe going to see a movie or two. So
I think that pretty much matches us. We're probably do a bit more work around here. I'm actually just kind of looking forward to a couple of days of downtime, and I have no big Black Friday stuff I plan to go out and do. I'll see what's on Amazon and maybe pick up a few presents, but I forgot about the Christmas tree. We might go get a Christmas tree this weekend.
yeah, I think we might set up our fake tree.
Yeah.
I think we had the fake tree discussion already.
My wife and I were talking about whether or not we should get a live tree this year, like not a cut live tree, but like a burlap / potted live tree, and then plant it afterwards.
Oh, fancy.
But well, I don't know. We don't know yet. We just did some Googling, so we'll have to see. Maybe we might do that. Who knows? Seems like that would be kind of cool to plant a tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, what about you? What happened this past weekend? Anything fun?
Well, so I guess something fun, but not that something fun. This week we went to for date night. We went and saw Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
It was good. It was good. However, we saw it at Bridgeport. They had this thing. I didn't realize what this was at the time. I was like, all right, just, here's the time I want to go and here's the movie I want to see, buy tickets. And it's apparently this new thing called Screen X.
Okay. And is that like the curved
what happens?
screen?
No, it's not a curved screen. You're in a square box, but at certain parts of the movie, the entire sides of the theater lit up with movie that went along with what was going on right in front of you.
Weird.
So you can imagine being in a race car. This is, Ford versus Ferrari is a great movie for this. So not only do you see the track in front of you, if you look to your right, you see what's, out the window to your right and out the window to your left. So,
That's
they had
cool.
It was a little disorienting. They had the introduction to the movie, when they talk about the movie theater and it shows everything. They lit up the big projectors that are displaying the movie on the walls next to you, kind of the short little demo reel that they did before the movie started. And that was a little bit nausea-inducing.
Probably not what they're going for.
No, but the movie was interesting because it was mostly when they were in the vehicle and, it made sense. And then the other half of the movie, the rest of the movie, it was only right in front of you. So this Screen X thing, I figure Hollywood is trying to do whatever it can to convince people to still come to movie theaters.
Right.
And I think I kind of thought it was all right. I think I thought it was cool.
That's cool.
So,
I definitely haven't been in that theater.
Anyways, it was a fun movie.
That's cool.
I enjoyed it.
That's cool. All right, I'll have to see it if I get a chance. That'd be fun.
And to be fair to my wife, there was enough kind of plot and story and fun parts for her that she enjoyed it as well. It wasn't just a car movie that she just went along with me to be nice. She enjoyed the movie.
Not just chase scenes and explosions, huh?
Yeah. It was more than just exactly.
That's fun. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get more fencing done?
We did get more fencing done. Yep. Although it's actually the worst line of the lot, so I don't know quite. Well, yeah. I have some more tools coming that I'm going to try and fix it. If not, I'm going to tear it down and do that part again. But we'll see. I guess, but my big thing was that I think I mentioned that I bought a table saw a couple of months ago, but it didn't have it working.
Saw stop.
Yes, that's right. I did say something on the podcast, right?
I think it was something fun.
But it is finally working. I did my last little bit of wiring this past weekend to wire up the dust collector, and I've been cutting stuff on it, and it is good. Now I got to build all these jigs and stuff like that. I'm working on I have a cross-cut sled out there that is half constructed. That will be I don't know. Will probably be done tomorrow. And I got I've got like just a whole list of things I want to build, and I just don't have time because I gotta balance like doing practical things and work and family and all this other stuff. But
sounds familiar.
I have spent a couple of nights after the kids and the whole family's asleep. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go out to the shop. See ya. Which I would probably do a little more of if it hadn't been freezing cold the last few nights. It's been, I don't know, it's been in mid-low 30s or something like that. And yeah, that's a little chilly. Anyway, but I'm having fun. So that's good. Let's see. Let's get into the actual podcast, shall we?
I saw you threw some follow-up in there.
I did. This was follow-up from the NSA Advisory that we did, or that I think I did that as a topic a couple of weeks ago. But I saw Bruce Schneier actually had a link post to this and pulled out a few things, but the link that I think we'll link to is the actual Bleeping Computer article that actually talks a little bit more about it. But this is kind of interesting because it's not a security advisory so much as a best practices guide, kind of, specifically around TLS inspection. Basically, if you're gonna do a break and inspect on TLS, what are some things you should do? Because if you do it poorly, you can reduce or eliminate the security that's actually being provided by the transport layer. And so it's kind of funny because it's sort of like, don't do this unless you're going to do it well is the overall net of it, I guess. This article's something that you'd almost expect to see from like an analyst publication for like, tips and tricks and things to watch out for and best practices.
Right.
But, some of the problems they outline are sort of what happens if you do it wrong. So what happens if you have a proxy that's not properly doing TLS validation or misconfigured so it sends unencrypted traffic to an external network or uses a weaker cipher, and then you're vulnerable due to the weaker cipher to either previous vulnerabilities or a downgrade attack. And then just the fact that you have a certificate authority that the proxy has to generate certs for your client, and your client has to trust them. If that CA cert is compromised, then that's a very large vulnerability. But those are sort of configuration and things. The other things they outline are a little less tractable, I guess. So the fact that if somebody's truly doing client auth, well, you can't break and re-encrypt the client auth. If somebody's using HSTS, which is HTTP strict transport, you can't do that. If you're using, well, this actually says, let's see, this says especially HSTS includes a security feature that binds the HTTP session to the specific TLS session. TLSI systems that ignore the underlying HTTP headers will cause HSTS sessions to be rejected by the client, the server, or both. And then the other big one is TLS 1.3. So a lot of products still, to my knowledge, are downgrading TLS 1.3 to TLS 1.2. And
right.
there's still a lot of compatibility on clients at this point, but in the future there are definitely some things that come with TLS 1.3 that will make it tricky to support in the future. Once clients start sort of requiring TLS 1.3. But anyway, so the main thing I pulled this out for was because we talked about it a little bit a couple weeks ago. I might have to actually find out where the subscribe is and start seeing them from the source instead of from links.
Right.
Link posts from other people I follow, but we'll see. Yeah. So how about topics? What do you got for me this week?
All right, I got two. So my first one is kind of around mobile device management, MDM.
Ooh.
And if you, as an employee, use your personal phone and hook it up to work so you can get work email, etc., there are some potential issues you should probably be aware of or reminded of. And this came out of an article that I found in a YouTube video I watched about Google is kind of stuck again in the spotlight because apparently they had wiped the personal phone of one of their employees. And there's some background about this employee. They're trying to get Google employees to create a union. And so it's someone who is under some kind of investigation at Google. And I rather than try to figure out what the facts are, I don't know what the facts are. Mostly just what I wanted to talk about was the fact that this person had their personal phone because they had used it with work, and the assumption is they were using it with work, and Google, the employer, had every right to wipe everything on that phone. And so anything that was not backed up previously was gone. So any photos, any configuration or apps or data from apps that they had on that phone was gone, and Google as the employer had the right to do that. The article is interesting from several points of view, but the thing I just wanted to pop to the top of everyone's stack again is if you are allowing your employer to, or if you're putting software on your phone that allows your employer to, allows you to access work email, you have probably also essentially given your employer potentially free reign on all the data on your phone. So just something to be aware of again. Yeah.
Oof. And that does make me nervous, I'll be honest, because I know that we've talked about it before, and I'm a one phone in my pocket guy, and you're a two phone in your pocket guy.
Yes, I do carry around the two phones for that reason. And, not that anything ever will or that I'm necessarily worried and I keep my phone backed up, my personal phone. I don't know. I just can't do that. And then the second article is another one of those, let's see how badly we can scare the crap out of people articles. So this one is, tall buildings or cell towers or any of these antennas, they have lights on them, right?
Yes.
And there are these lights that are on there that are there to warn planes of obstacles, airplanes.
I know, because on the west hills of Portland, there's like those big towers, right?
Yep. And these are obstruction lighting designed to alert aircraft to obstacles. And there is a researcher who found that at least 46 different control panels for these lighting systems were on and available to the internet for accessing from the internet all over the country and in the US and Canada. And you can turn them on and off if you are a obnoxious hacker. So this is not a really long article. It's mostly just we're just connecting everything to the internet. And
yeah. So is this kind of like the building control system? So somebody figured out a way to do a Shodan search for a particular type of device?
Essentially, yeah. And this particular type of device is the thing that's alerting aircraft to obstacles in the sky. So
Eesh.
it doesn't appear that there was any of these have been hacked, and it doesn't appear that there has been any issues with these. Here the security researcher reported them to the company that makes them, or at least makes these specific ones. They've back in May and August, I guess, and they've fixed them. They're working with them, making sure that everything is all working. But it's just one more thing that let's put everything on the internet, and well, maybe that's not the greatest idea, especially if it's not secure. So
Right. No, that's tricky though when it's not the source company that's actually responsible for them being exposed on the internet. It's the, implementers
right
in various places, because then you don't have to track down just one person. You have to track down, dozens
46.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first topic is, I was going to say it's similar to that, but I guess not so much, because this isn't something exposed to the internet, but it is just bad firmware. So this is an article that is
I'm just
HP
reading the
Enterprise.
headline now.
You like this? You like this?
Well, the number says it all. I know exactly what the deal is now that I've read the number.
Right. So I'll just read the title now, since you're reading the title and laughing, and anybody listening to this doesn't know what we're laughing about. So this is HP Enterprise tells users to patch SSDs to prevent failure after 32,768 hours of operation. So somebody used a short. So this is in the firmware of your SSD. So remember, software maybe not is eating the world. Software has eaten the world. And I don't know, Eric, how comfortable are you with software being perfectly flawless?
Oh, you're serious?
Sometimes I'm astonished that anything ever works. Is what I come out for. I'm not talking about any specific products here. Every piece of software is it. The thing is that it's degrees of freedom, right? I mean, that's what you think about. That's what I think about, at least. And you can have unit testing at the wazoo, and that just means that you've tested all the ways that you think it will behave, and you can fuzz it like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and that will test a lot of ways that you didn't think that it could actually behave, or that maybe it won't in real life, but that would or might only under malicious circumstance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's there's a bazillion lines or degrees of freedom in software. So this particular thing is so there's software running on your SSD. So you buy a SSD, or you have one that comes in your computer, or you have one that comes in a RAID controller. So I think most of these are probably going to be in not consumer grade hardware. They had a whole list of models in this link, which I didn't actually look that closely at. But most of these are probably in a big SAN or a RAID controller of some sort. And well, you kind of might want it to last more than 32,000 hours, 1,365 days, or 3.7 years. So if that had been 30 years, people would probably be like, well, we'll see. Got plenty of time. But 3.5 years, 3 3/4 years is probably not long enough. You probably expect your hard drive to last longer than that. So anyway, the thing about this is that after the SSD failure occurs, this was a quote from the article, neither the SSD nor the data can be recovered, HPE said, clearly suggesting that device owners need to install the firmware patch if they want to keep using their devices. So at least there's a patch available, I guess. But anyway, I thought that was mainly I guess keep things updated is a recurrent theme, but I feel bad for the first few people that learned this the hard way, probably.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My second article was an article by Troy Hunt last week, and this past week, for the title of this one is Data Enrichment, People Data Labs, and Another 622 Million Email Addresses. So this is Troy Hunt is the guy that runs Have I Been Pwned. He's been whatever happened with that? Did it ever sell, or what did he decide to do? I never really caught that. Do you remember, or have you seen anything?
I think it's still looking for a buyer.
Okay, so I haven't missed something.
Nope.
Okay, well, good for Troy. Yeah, hold out for the big bucks or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so this particular thing is the open question on this is, did it actually come from People Data Labs, or was it a People Data Labs subscriber? Who knows? It's another exposed Elasticsearch index on the internet, of course. But the thing is that there's this whole category of companies called data enrichment companies that what they do is they gather and then resell data. That is the only thing that they do. Well, I don't know. Maybe they have other divisions. But in this particular case, one of the interesting things about this article is Troy went in and searched for himself and posted the entire blob of his personal. So he was in it, and so he posted the JSON for his record, redacting the phone number and email address. But I'm assuming Troy knows that if you go back and look at the original, it's still in there. But what are you going to do? But anyway, they have a lot of data, including how many years of experience and stuff. A lot of stuff that was clearly sourced initially from LinkedIn. But combined with lots of other stuff. But the crazy thing is the subscribers to this data are, well, there was a quote in here that says, "We sign agreements with all our clients that strictly forbids the data reselling." So that's the main thing, is you can't resell the data. And a quote, "obliges them to ensure that all appropriate security measures are taken. However, there is no way for us to enforce all our clients follow the best data protection practices and guidelines." Yeah. So basically, any one of the subscribers, you're only as weak as the weakest security of any of the data enrichment companies' subscribers.
Right.
Which is just a terrible position to be in. And the analogy I like, and I'd heard this before, and I did a bit of Googling to try to figure out where it came from. I think I have the leak that it came from, but the analogy is personal data is like nuclear waste. But that actually seems like it came from a 2008 article by Cory Doctorow, who is the founder of Boing Boing and somebody I follow because he's a advocate for the open internet and a lot of causes and stuff that I certainly believe in. But 2008, that's 11 years ago.
Wow. I guess my comment or question on this article as I read through it, though, is he's not calling it a breach. There were no passwords, right? This is, have I been pwned? It's not like they've added a bunch of new passwords in there. And I think he even says it's just exposed data, not breached data, because if you look at it, most of it is already publicly available on some level somewhere. These are just aggregators who have aggregated it into a bucket.
Yes. So he made like a couple of points in the article. The first, you're right. He called it data enrichment exposure from PDL customer. So it's not considered a breach. But he also includes the results of a poll. It was an old poll. The date was 2016, if this picture's right, where he asked, if I have a massive spam list full of personal data being sold to spammers, should I load it into Have I Been Pwned? And 85% of people said yes. So, and he says time and time again, since that poll, a pulse check of subscriber sentiment has returned similar results. The vast majority of people want to know where their data has been exposed. And in this case, I'm going to keep using the term exposed rather than breached because PDL has a clear position on that, which is basically that it wasn't us. It was one of our customers.
It was one of the people we sold the data to.
Right. I'm just the arms dealer. I didn't commit the crime.
That's right.
Yeah. No, there's a bunch of analogies that you could use there, and none of them are pleasant. So,
right.
I find the situation frustrating, and also there's very little you can do to opt out of the system.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
Well, do you want to hear my something fun?
On that pleasant note, yes. How about we switch to something fun?
Let's go to my something fun, which is all about cemeteries.
Cemeteries?
Not really. No. But no. So the website is gcemetery.co. So go click on that link.
Okay,
if
I'm
you
clicking.
haven't already.
I have not clicked on
Basically, this is the Google cemetery. So how many products Google kills off every year and when they're going to die?
Okay.
And so Google has killed off 164 different products. You can find
Death
all sorts
by
of
year.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, this is funny.
I thought this was a little piece of fun. If you want to go see what is Google killing off and when did they kill something off?
I still miss Google Reader, so I don't. Yeah, you're. Oh, I hate it when you click on the close link of an ad, and instead of clicking the close button, it actually goes to the ad.
Right. Yes, I think I still have a pair of the Google glasses, which we had bought when I was on the mobile team. We were going to do some security analysis on what people could do with those. I think I still have that box somewhere. I'm sure they're still run if you boot them up, but they killed that in 2015. Anyways.
Oh, so you can you? Oh, yes, you can. Okay, so when did they kill Reader? There's a lot of readers. Google Reader. Oh, they killed it in 13? I'm still holding a grudge 6 years later. Wow. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure this is fun, Eric.
I found this very fun to just go through, because it's let's be honest, it's a little bit of a history, because Google has been around for a long time, and you know there's a lot of instant messaging apps that Google has launched and killed off.
There's a lot of Friday fun projects. Yes.
Anyways, there's my something fun.
And you know what? I don't actually hate Google for this, because I would prefer that things be able to see the light of day and then see what happens. But anyway, that is a pretty long list of things.
164 things. A lot of fun in the Google cemetery.
Okay. All right. Well,
that's my something fun.
That's cool. All right. My something fun. I have another science thing. Did you read this article? Did you see this article?
I have not yet.
Okay.
Nope.
So mine is that there have been, I don't know if you know this, Eric, there have been 2 extrasolar objects seen in the last couple of years, which is bizarre because they're the first that we've validated and seen. So and I assume, I don't think the article.
What's an extrasolar object?
meaning not formed by our star and solar system. So it is coming from interstellar space, passing through the solar system and going on and outward. So, and as far as I can tell, at least from the article, there have been exactly 2 of these that we have found, and they have both been found in the last 2 years. So, so I don't think it explained it, but I think that, so the names of these are 1I/Oumuamua and 2I/Borisov.
I assume named after the people who discovered them?
I think Borisov for sure. I'm not sure about the first one. But the 1I and 2I, I believe, stand for 1 interstellar, 2 interstellar. So I presume the next one we see will be 3I/something else. Pretty cool, I think. But so sorry, let me pull up my article here. So the cool thing about this, so the crazy thing about this is the first one they didn't actually see until it was already past the sun. So it was basically on its way out when they first saw it. So we didn't get a lot of time to study it. But the second one, they did, and so they've been studying it. And let's see, I pulled a couple quotes in here. So let's see. Because astronomers spotted 2I/Borisov on its way into the solar system, they have many months to study it. Unlike their fleeting glimpse of Oumuamua, which was discovered on its way out. As a result, they expect to learn much more, such as what chemical compounds make up its icy heart. It's their best look yet at an object known to have formed around another star. And they said, just 3 weeks after it was seen, astronomers trained the 4.2-meter William Herschel telescope in Spain's Canary Islands, on it, and spotted molecules of cyanide gas streaming off the comet. It was the first ever detection of gas from an alien visitor to the solar system.
Huh.
So so then I just have one more quote here, which I thought was funny. So scientists didn't expect 2 in such rapid succession after decades of fruitless searching. I remain confused and astounded that the second object came along so fast, says Robert Jedicke, an asteroid specialist at the University of Hawaii who has worked to calculate the frequency of interstellar visitors. They're like buses, says Alan Fitzsimmons, an astronomer at Queen's University Belfast. You wait decades for one to come along, and then 2 come along almost at once. I thought that was funny. I thought that was great. So the article's relatively long. It's a Nature link, but pretty cool. But so these are the first 2 that we've seen, and may there be many, many more to come. And I hope to read more about what they've learned about 2/Borisov, maybe in the next few months. So anyway, that's my something fun.
Very cool.
I thought that was
awesome.
That was a cool article. All right.
Well, have a happy Thanksgiving, John.
Have a happy Thanksgiving. Don't watch too many movies. Don't eat too much turkey. Don't eat too much pie. We broke into the pecan pie tonight, actually. We figured, it's okay.
It's close enough.
Why leave it in the fridge for a whole extra day? Anyway. All right. Have a great week.
All right. We'll talk to you next week.
I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.